Hey guys, I'm Chris from the Silver Symbol channel, and today we are on my workshop channel doing something pretty unusual. Now we're going to be cleaning gutters, which is a pretty boring task, and oftentimes if you're up on a ladder you might actually get hurt, and that isn't popular at all. I was down at my local rental shop and I spotted this brand new machine. They'd just gotten it in. At first I thought this thing was just a shop vac, but they told me this machine can clean gutters as high as 40 feet in the air. You'll never have to get in a ladder, and all of that sounded pretty good. My gutters are a mess, so we're going to use this thing to clean all of them. I'm going to share the results with you, and you can decide if this might be something you want to consider trying in your own house.
This machine is called the Cyclone Classic Pro, made by the company Gutter Pro Vac. It kind of just looks like a regular shop vac, but it really is different. First off, I've never seen any shop vac that actually has two motors inside. And though this model only needs 120 volts, so you can just plug it in a regular outlet, it actually is rated for about 2200 watts of suction. But here's what's really different. The poles that they give you with this system are made of carbon fiber. That means they're super strong, incredibly light. In fact, when you pick them up, these things kind of feel like they're made of cardboard. They lock into one another, and the kit that I rented included 6 of the poles, and they're about 5 feet long each. But they rent and sell versions of these things that can go up to about 40 feet. And I'm painfully aware that there are some DIY versions of these kits. You can basically make it yourself out of a shop vac in PVC. Now, if you're only going up 10 feet, that's fine. But if you go much further than that, PVC is super heavy. Just put 2 pieces together and you'll realize fast that it just doesn't really work. This model is 20 gallons. It's going to hold all your leaves, water, and anything else that gets in there. And this model also additionally has a drain hose. So if you suck up a bunch of water, you can undo the drain hose without ever opening up the container. And right away, this is a weird experience turning on 2 individual motors. Now, it's not a gimmick. You can actually hear each individual motor firing up. Now, I'm going to do all my gutters, but the ones in my workshop here are by far the worst. And they are really plugged with pine needles, even some pine cones and other junk. Now, the guy told me this isn't just like a regular shop vac. You don't just go from right to left and back and forth. You'll basically just clog the machine too quickly. He recommended you kind of pick away at it. You've got to dig into the gutter initially. Then once you get that open space, you then can move along and it really will start to suck stuff in. And the stuff is dry on the top, but underneath you can see it's all wet and muddy, and it's been there for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. But then I really did get a handle on the technique and things went much quicker. But you've also got to remember, what's the alternative here? You've got to pull out a ladder, you've got to either brace it on your gutters themselves, which sometimes damages them, or you've got to get standoffs and put them on your roof. Now, you might have a roof that's really flat and you can just stand up there and use a leaf blower, but that isn't really great if everything's muddy and it ends up blowing all over your house. The kit he let me use also included this camera. It's kind of like an action cam that goes on the end of the pipe. It can connect to your phone, and then they give you a bracket that goes on the opposite end of the pipe. Now, this is pretty helpful because now you can see exactly what's going on in the gutter. And a lot of people actually buy these systems because they might be cleaning their gutters a couple of times a year. And where I live, the quote for my gutters getting cleaned was about $400. And with all these trees, I'd probably even do it a couple times a year. So this is a system that I might consider buying long term. The other big problem for me is timing. If I call a gutter cleaning company like I've done in the past, they come out on their schedule. Sometimes my leaves fall much later, and then it kind of ruins the whole cleaning because they just get plugged again right before the winter. And next I'm moving to the back of the workshop. Now at this point, I was so much better with the tool. I also noticed that when this thing does clog, oftentimes if you just lift the handle up off the gutter, it just kind of sucks itself in. I'm in New Hampshire, so we do get a lot of leaves, water, and also pine needles. They were going in this vacuum just fine, along with the mud and a lot of shingle debris that's just collected in here over the season. Here's another trick. You kind of want to bounce the thing up and down. Because the debris is really matted down, you want to fluff it up, and then once you do, the vacuum has a much easier time pulling it in. You can hear a lot and again feel a lot in the tube, so you know if it's clogged and you know if you're kind of moving along and there's nothing left. Now, of course, you could get a couple of leaves in here still, and that's not really my worry. This is real life. I just want to clean out the gutter quickly, and again, I'm not on a ladder. And yeah, I'd say this thing is working. This stuff is pretty nasty, and the container is packed. All that stuff was in my gutters, and if you leave that in before winter, you're definitely going to get some ice dams. You don't have to lift up the container. It's hinged, and you can just tilt it over and dump it wherever you want, or you could even collect it in a bag if you wanted to throw it out. Now I can move over to the house. Now this particular roof isn't too high. It required about 4 sections of poles, and this is pretty easy to manage. You can see the wind is blowing like crazy this day, and that's probably not the best idea, but that's when I had the machine, so I wanted to get the job done. Now on the back side of the house, I needed 2 more sections of poles. Now as you do get higher, it definitely takes a little bit more coordination, but as far as the cleaning goes, it was pretty much the same. Now I did start off with a clog right away because that was actually a pine cone that jammed up the end, but after that it was pretty much smooth sailing. Now one other tip is if you do get tired while you're doing this, you can just hang the pole on the gutter. And these are the most challenging parts of my roof. Now this particular one on this side isn't too bad because I can stand right below the roof, but when I get to the opposite end, I've got that extension on my house, and I really had to angle this thing out at the full 30-foot length. I had to empty the machine several times from my house because those gutters were also really full. Now maybe I shouldn't get this excited about gutters, but I absolutely loved this machine. This is something I never thought I could do on my own. And most importantly, I was safe the entire time, no ladders, no risk, and this is definitely a better way to do it. Now, when I look overseas in places like the UK, they've been using these machines for years, but for whatever reason, they're just not really that popular here, or maybe people don't know about them, which is exactly why I wanted to make this video. But maybe you've got one of these, you've used it, or you own one. Definitely let me know in the comments, or if you have any questions, I can certainly try to answer them. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the silver symbol and the workshop channel for more videos coming up.